Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another session of Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire the Requiem, a Requiem for London. We open up tonight's scene at the Hammerhead, where Marcus has already found himself is chumming and joking around with the local bikers, punks, and other assorted riffraff that frequent the Hammerhead. With this in mind, he, after getting some rather interesting text messages from one Chloe Brothers, has set a time, set a place, set a date, and is just relaxing with his chums and waiting for her to arrive and to see what tales she might have to spin. And with that, I hand over the board to our fellow player.
So, Chloe would have gotten home last night, early this morning, at the god-awful hour, kind of just giving her that time to walk, even though, she had a bunch of birds probably watching her after that whistle. But regardless of the fact, she was very glad to see her dog when she came in to her butcher shop, as was he, considering what instructions she gave him if she did not return, because she did not honestly know how the night was going to go. So, very thankful, and, keeping to her word, she had messaged Marcus, and they had agreed on a time to meet up, a desperate time to meet up, so that way she can vent. Trying to figure out, what's the best way to vent about what the hell she just did. Without giving away too much information, she goes, you know what, I'll just figure it on the freaking Uber, on the way in the Uber. And she's actually going to take Roadkill with her. And she's just going to look at the driver and goes, he's my service animal. And then just look back out the window, having her hand constantly on her dog. She's still a little bruised up. She took a beating. And, I mean, she did feed before, but she just kind of wanted to still feel what it's like to be in a fight again. And being bashed over the head with a nightstick a few times tends to remind you. But so she gets there, and, on the way in, if anybody stops her, she's just going to look at them again and be like, this is my service animal. He's coming in with me regardless of the fact. And then we'll just keep on walking.
Yeah, the fun thing is you come in with the dog, and in the first instant, there is a gentleman in his, I would say late 30s, close to 40, who looks up, thick beard, brown eyes, looking at your dog, and then and then suddenly in his face there is as if his eyes go a little bit dull for a second, and then he just gives a nod and a thumbs up, indicating with his index finger where Marcus is. Evening, miss.
Thank you. It just keeps on walking.
Yeah, Marcus is hanging out with some some 99%ers. Thor's MC, and he just seems to be chatting, and they're seeming to be enjoying some rather filthy jokes. As he turns with a big smile, sees you, and just waves you over.
And she's looking a little haggard. She's looking a little beat up. But she gives her best smile, as much as it kind of probably hurts her jaw too, and walks over. Roadkill will probably, trot ahead and sit down, waiting for the pats.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long when there is happy balking coming from behind Marcus, as Rusty pokes out his Rhodesian Ridgeback head, now fully grown. And a sizable hound. You could think that a pack of these could probably take on a lion, at least on its own. But just out and goes over to Roadkill, and they do the usual thing of sniffing their butts and wagging their tails and being very happy dogs.
Yes. And she just sits down. She looks at Marcus and goes, "Hi." Just looks tired. Like she didn't sleep very well. I mean, she was able to feed, so she kind of has that blush, but she's still beaten.
Marcus just looks her up and down. His eyes aren't focusing quite as well as they normally would, but he's got a smile, looks up and down, just goes like, "Ugh, did you just come from a brawl? Oof."
This morning. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Sorry. Speaking of dogs, my dog is. You're okay. All right. Sorry. Continue.
I see. Must have been one mighty scrap.
With a nightstick.
Charming, I'm sure.
Original. Because she's got bruises on both sides of her head. She's just like, yeah, luckily I was able to use momentum when he bounced my head off of the car.
All this gratuitous violence these days, and he gives you a very cheeky grin.
Yeah. She looks around. How full is the place?
Oh, tonight it's actually pretty much teeming with people. There seems to be a live music act a little later on. And people are milling about and looking excited. The interesting thing is that the folks around Marcus, when you arrived, they just tapped him on the shoulder, and now they're busying themselves with a game of pools. Others are playing darts. Others are drinking and chatting, and there is a general buzz around. It doesn't seem as if they're actively trying to listen in to his conversation, giving their mate a bit of privacy, but you would guess that they could easily overhear you.
Are the private rooms full?
Nope. Okay. The poker room would be free. Actually, I had a bit... I guess that you would ask that, so I've already paid John 40 quid, so at least for the next 2 hours, we would have our privacy guaranteed. Okay. Want to grab something to drink before we retire to the chamber?
Yes, please. Looks at the bartender and goes, "My usual, please."
He just nods and he will make ready for Chloe her usual. You've known John. John is a solid bloke.
Yes.
He's probably been part of the of the furniture and interior probably 20 years now.
Oh yeah, no. So then she would definitely know him off and on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and enough times that she's been here with Marcus, the usual tends to come up a lot more.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Marcus just makes a hand sign. John tosses him the keys, takes it, gives him a nod, opens up the locks, opens up the door so that she can get in, gives a whistle so that Rusty also comes in as well.
Roadkill will probably follow.
Very good. And as soon as
he seems to be very tight against her legs when he's walking.
Yeah. While Rusty is, put it that way, a little less glued to Marcus's side, but definitely keeps within shouting distance.
Yeah. And she walks in.
Yep. Very good. Then he closes the door. There we go. Gets comfy, puts his legs up.
Your protection is solidified with the Carthians, if anything comes up. Just want that out there right now. I went for a ride last night. On the back of the car.
I take it this information is rather confidential and you would like nobody else to hear it. Do I assume correctly?
Please and thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm only going to tell you outside the Carthians. Because I totally pulled a GTA last night.
Oh my. Grand Theft Auto, eh?
Well, no, the jump from car to car being the GTA part.
He looks at you, he thinks a bit. Oh, that video game from a few years back. Oh, that one. Yeah, that was after I got thrown out of my own house. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
So you pulled an action, a last action hero. There we go.
That fits more. And you almost gained a dog last night. Because if I didn't come home, roadkill was coming to you.
Understood. I would have turned him into a regular terror. Nah, jokes aside, I would have made sure he would have got a loving home.
Yeah. Except that loving home is on the other side of his collar. It's the phone number, the American phone number to my sister in the States. And you really don't want her over here.
Yeah, the less we have to involve family members, the better.
Well, no, you don't want the grandma. You probably want the sister over to grandma, but the thing is that because sister is so entangled in grandma's grip, both of them would probably come over just for a dog. And then would burn London to the ground because they thought it'd be funny.
Yes, exist forever. That couldn't possibly do your head in. He just puts two fingers on the bridge of his nose.
See why I ran away to London?
Understandable. Thoroughly understandable. But yes. Yeah. Seriously, if anyone ever wants me to embrace them to be a vampire just so that they can live forever, I think I'll just slap the everlasting shit out of them.
Yeah.
Because they clearly don't know what the hell they are talking about. And I'm still a pretty lucky fellow. I'm still relatively fresh off the mint.
So,
not that I look it, but...
we good? We clear?
Confident? We're frosty. Okay. But yes, please, tell me more.
We have Remus McDonald in our custody.
Who is that fucker again?
He runs the books for the Invictus.
Oh, he's their main bookie. I see.
Yep. And I was one to be sent after him. I got him to surrender by beating the crap out of his bodyguard, which is the one that beat my face in. And so I slashed him across the face, and he was dying. And the guy came back, totally pulled a heart-to-heart to me. And at the end of it all, I ripped out his throat.
could have saved himself the energy.
Well, no, not Remus's. I ripped out his bodyguard's throat. And I don't know if he's going to talk now. I have not heard anything yet.
Unfortunate, but considering all I know, a probably less expected dangers certain bodyguards have to deal with.
Well, I mean, Remus kept on calling me a monster, so I figured by the end of it all, I'd fucking give him one, and now I need to remind myself why I can't be a monster. Thus, I called you.
I see. Can't say I haven't lost a little bit of attachment, although for very different reasons. Or to be more
have your nights been?
precise, months and a few months back, I uplifted one of the revenants, and it took a little piece out of me, quite literally. So I've found that I'm a little bit more aloof, or at least that's how it felt. However, I'm trying my best to remind myself as well. One of the simplest ways is being around humans, being around people, reminding yourself how it was to be a person. How should I say? Sometimes with acting comes thought.
Yeah.
But yes, so how did it make you feel when you ripped that bodyguard's throat out?
Excited. She says it really quick, and she's just looking off, just like excited. And she feels like she's sitting on a chair in a therapist's office, but then she kind of mentally slaps herself. It's just like, yeah, this is the reason why we're here, dude.
A little bit feral, a little bit raw, not really an excitement coming from our higher brain functions, let's put it that way.
Yeah. So I still have to call Verb to see what is going on with that. And I even tried securing his freedom, not even freedom, indentured servitude, but still his life. And he still called me a monster. Because I'm a Carthian. And we're, what did he say? Boot-licking, monstrous sons of bitches. Or something like that. But there was definitely boot-licking involved. And I'm like, excuse you, sir, I'm about to make you lick my boot.
Don't call a Carthian a bootlicker. That's an excellent way to get a licking.
Well, and the thing is that I used to be Invictus. I used to be a fence holder. I didn't like either one of the rules, even being neutral. Thus, I came to the Carthians, because at least then there aren't rules, there's ethics. Is how I see it.
It's good to remind yourself why you do what you do and why you fight the fights you do. And
I just
also
kept on getting stonewalled. Ugh.
Yeah.
And she does like this shudder, like, ugh, and just takes a big old gulp of her drink.
Yeah, well, the Soviets have had a nice word for that one. Propaganda. And of course indoctrination, I guess, if for decades and decades you're around people who always parrot the same little phrases, at some point I guess you will just start believing them. That's what they call conditioning.
Yeah. Luckily, I take that time out of the year to go trekking to make sure I stay out of any sort of conditioning that might hit the streets.
That's always good. And yeah, something we often forget. For far longer, human beings were hunter-gatherers, roamers, regular changes in scenery. It's only relatively recently in the whole history of our existence that, well, we started settling down and just living in one place. This is all very new to the human experience in a way. So if you feel the wandering, don't forget, it's not necessarily only your beast that seeks a change of scenery.
I just figured I had enough scenery to last me a while, considering it was 6 months instead of 2.
Yeah. Come to think of it, what do you do when you have downtime? When you're not on a mission or whatnot.
I manage my butcher shop.
Mm-hmm.
I play with my dog.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not tracking, even.
Yep.
Shit. And she really starts like staring at a wall trying to think. She's like, oh, I mean, I still do that research for the YouTube channel. Fuck, I haven't done research for the YouTube channel.
Who knows?
Well, I'll do it later.
But when you have a breather, maybe go do it.
Maybe once this war is done, I can focus back on what I was doing.
Well, if worst comes to the worst, put a post-it note up so that you don't forget.
Call my sister on a secured line.
Definitely.
Tell her everything that's going on while not disclosing my location. Enter enough information for her to check the news to see where my location is.
Understandable. And he starts sort of staring off into the distance a little bit, more subconsciously than actively.
Man, I actually live a very boring life if I'm not on a mission of any sort.
I've recently been able to get my forge working. I'm actually pretty pleased, yeah.
So that means weapons coming soon, right? Which means you're gonna need a guinea pig, right? And she just gives a smirk.
You know what? Get out of my head.
I'm just saying that we've already discussed this kind of thing.
I'm just joking, and he gives her a very friendly buddy punch on the shoulder.
Oh, damn it. That's where I landed. It's okay. I'm good. It's okay. Pain reminds me of humanity.
You Americans, yeah.
Okay.
Pain is your friend because he reminds you that you are still sort of alive.
Okay, no. Do you really want to know what happened? I'll tell you what happened if you really want it, like the gritty details.
Dude, I was in Afghanistan, so out with the infos.
So, okay. And she just like kind of
And I'm
adjusts her
ex-SAS.
Italian hands going on.
I've seen some shit too, so don't you give me that. I'm no pansy.
I know. I'm just saying. But I mean, I've done some crazy shit in my past. I mean, I've squared off against 12 shotguns aimed at me and still walked out. Little battered, little bruised, but not nearly as last night, man. Okay, so we're scoping out his place. We have been at this for 3 fucking nights. And so finally he walks in, and my partner goes to the other side because she's not going to mention her partner's name. And I go across the parking lot. And I'm looking at this bodyguard. This is a normal fucking bodyguard, man. I don't know what was wrong with him, but fuck, he was hitting hard with the nightstick. But that's later. They get in. We get in this fucking piece of shit Prius that has even fans that are only working because they're plugged into the cigarette lighters. How the hell is that supposed to work? There's not even working fans in there. And I tell him, let's cause an accident. Let's try to be, inconspicuous with this. Subtlety. Let's cause an accident and make it look like an accident, because clearly this card can cause an accident without even trying. He failed that, dude. And he told me to jump. So I jumped. Thus GTA happened. And I was hanging on for dear life. Even had to use these nice little things, looking down at her fingers. And they're like, shake her off, man. And it's just like, so I'm filming it. So I'm like, oh man, I'm about to be shooken off, and I'm gonna fail this thing. So what do? I slash his tire, and I don't know how many times we spun, and she kind of zones out trying to count how many times, shakes her head, and just goes, it was a lot though. I was very dizzy afterwards, but I hung on for dear fucking life. Bodyguard, tries to open the door. Target tries to open the door. I kick the door back into Target's face. It was funny because he goes, and climbs out the other side, starts running. Bodyguard gets out. He brings out the nightstick, thus bashing motions at her face. It was great. I slashed him a couple times. He finally went down. All of a sudden, Target comes running back up and it's just like, dude, no, we'll listen. I'm like, cool, sit right there. I really, really wanted to put the car door around him and just squeeze him in there. It was great. And then, I tried helping and just dropped the first aid pack right next to the body of the bodyguard. Mm-hmm. It was like, there, he's got the first aid kit, and went back to looking at him, watching him, waiting for him stuff. And then the fucker called birds. I don't know
what kind of birds.
Just birds in general. He wasn't trying to do an attack move. He was just saying that he was compromised.
Oh, wait. That fellow was...
Remus McDonald.
Ventrue by any chance?
I think so.
That makes sense. We also have animalism, after all.
Oh, yeah. No wonder. And she just
That's the funny bit. Everyone forgets that the Ventrue not only like to command people, well, depends, but not only have the ability to command over people, but also the beasts of the field. Interesting how everyone just sort of tends to forget that.
She just looks at Rusty. Sorry, Rusty, I forgot.
He licks your hand.
Thanks, bud. Yeah, so that's how my night went. And then again, I ripped out the bodyguard's throat because the guy kept on yelling, and then he really started yelling and released some more information, and I told the bodyguards to record it, but I recorded it myself in my head, and I'm a little worried. Thus, I have confirmed protection for you with Verve and the Carthians. Because if I trust anybody out of the 3 leaders, it's Verve.
She is of which sub-faction?
The war-making kind.
The guillotiners.
Yes.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Makes actually good sense why you would trust her over the others.
I hate politics, and I hate neutrality anymore.
Well, good thing I'm not a Swiss kindred, I guess.
No, I tried politics, and it nearly got me killed by those 12 shotguns. That was great. That was fun.
Things have been interesting, to say the least, while you were putting action heroes to shame. I was first of all able to take care of one of my goals I had planned to do for a while. Julian was so nice to help me out with that, and remember when I told you about Harry?
Harry, yes.
Yeah, we were able to locate his resting place, and I made sure he got the send-off he wanted.
Okay. Noble.
Well, I promised it to him.
You did.
And what kind of person would I be if I didn't keep my promises?
You haven't broken any of mine. Oh my god.
But yeah, so that was that. In return, I was asked to help Julian out with a little guard duty he'd been asked to do. I mean, it was all on the up and up and nice and clear. We were in order to recall territory, a certain hospital, to be more precise, and some lank-haired sanctum goons showed up, did their usual Bible bashing, and after that, he and I got involved in a rather nasty scrap, I have to say, through some tactical maneuvering of my own, especially after having my right lower arm chopped off with a fucking flaming sword.
Looks at the arm.
It is regrown.
Okay. Just goes, wait, what the fuck did I miss?
Yeah. So let's just say I made sure that one of them turned on the other, and that was the moment where Goodman was able to break out of a rather nasty wrestle he was having with, I swear that guy was, yeah, most likely a gangrel. But yeah, and just before I fell into torpor, I just saw Goodman taking out the last head. I have to say, when he lets his beast rip, and don't misunderstand me, he wasn't in an uncontrolled frenzy. The very opposite.
Oh no, that's always fun. When you can actually work with your other self without, bickering at each other, it's fun.
I know this is probably not the best thing for me to say, but as I was just about to drift out of consciousness, my last image was him beheading the guy with his claws. I will not lie, it was magnificent.
Fuck yeah, no, are you fucking kidding me? I fucking just lost with your story. And I did a GTA move. And hung on.
Yeah.
No, man, you just beat me. That's great. That's fabulous. I gotta try that.
But yeah, so let's just say a little later on, I found myself. Well, to be fair, I was either expecting to see some Ordo faces or some Lancair Sanctum faces. Quite frankly, one of the two.
Did you think you were gonna have to meet Charlie?
Beg your pardon?
Charlie. From Lancashire?
No. None of her people.
Okay.
But yeah, when I awoke, I had a chat with a fellow member of my clan, and let's just say some things became more clear and some misconceptions were put out of this world. So at the very least, I've been able to link up with somebody of whom I descend off.
Nice.
Oh, some extended family, you could say. Well, family is probably the wrong term, but bloodline, yeah.
Were you at least excited to see them?
I was very surprised to meet them, but it was very informative. And luckily enough for me, they're also an Order member.
So I call that a win.
So no conflicts of interest there. Even went so far to agree on some mutual cooperation, seeing that there was more to win through that than just standing around with our dick in our hands, if you pardon my French.
No, you get.
But yeah, that's been interesting. And about the talks in Soho. I was there, not really talking much, but keeping an eye on the situation, to say the least.
Bitchin'. Again, no, you totally blew my story out of the water.
Don't feel bad about it. It's not a competition.
No. Not feeling bad. It's just like, damn it. Just kind of looks at her fingers, just like, shing. I gotta work on that.
But yes, but that's that. Otherwise, things seem pretty calm in the order, at least from my little corner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, and he looks at her. It is very interesting how, after all was said and done, some of the bellicose parties decided to rather quickly buddy up, hugs and kisses and all that. I haven't got a good enough overview for the situation to see where there are still fronts open and where they're closing. But yeah, I wonder. I really wonder. And I also wonder if I should even ask that question or if I'm moving into more dangerous territory here. But if the Carthians' allies are still holding as fast as they should.
As far as I'm aware, they are. We haven't had any breaches, or at least none that I've been able to hear down the grapevine. But you know that as soon as I hear it, you're going to get a text because apparently I can't keep my mouth shut anymore.
But yeah, to quote one of your presidents, well, minus the vampire politics part, it is a den of thieves and vipers.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Oh boy, I agree with that.
So let's just say, from an old war pig, keep an eye out for your back. See that you don't get involved in a two-front war.
Verb doesn't trust anybody. She only trusts those that she allows in her guillotine. That's one thing I can say. And besides that, I think she trusts me. And I'm not even officiated into her guillotine yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I did get some news. One of the things that Rima screamed out is that we're already going to fail. The prince is going to take us out and stand. I think he said Stansford is going to be prince.
Yeah, I've been hearing mumblings and rumblings and stuff like that about it. If you want my opinion, it is most likely to try to sow uncertainty, maybe also discontent, fractionalism. Of course, it would make sense that they would try to paint him as such due to his lineage. Not that he can do anything for it, not that any of us really can do anything for it. But probably trying to say that in the hopes that those who are not as careful about what they hear and how they process it just might plant a seed.
That's fine. I only heard it. And the thing is that from my previous years, I have been trained just to hear things and hold on to them and see how everybody reacts and wait for things to unfold and then react. Unfortunately, as last minute planning as that is, it's kept me along this long. It's kept me alive this long.
Good. Yeah. Now, something else I've been hearing about, and consider that a friendly little crumb thrown from one veteran to another. I've also been hearing rumblings of umbral birdies having clawed themselves deep in the bowels of the Carthians, if you pardon the dramatics.
Umbral birdies.
Those shadowy owls.
Oh, fuck.
And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody would try to use that as a rallying cry against you folks.
My only thing is I really hope somebody isn't stupid enough to think that they can use them to our game.
Our gain?
Yeah, it's just not going to work.
They are like crows in conflict. The only one who benefit are them.
Exactly, that's my thing. I certainly hope that nobody's stupid enough to think that they can control them or sway them.
With all due respect, they're those kind of entities where even if I had Valerian's power, I wouldn't be so fucking conceited to think that I could pull it off. And that's saying something. He's a stone old Ventru. I've seldom come across, well, even just in general, kindred that old. But I wouldn't be surprised if with age also a certain amount of self-assurance, pride even, would probably start bubbling up. I'm not saying that he is pacting with the birdies, but I'm also not saying that he isn't. We don't know. That's the facts.
Who? Sorry, I didn't hear a name that you said was. Is Zansford?
Valerius, Stanford's sire.
I hate sires. I hate grandsires. I hate any parents. I hope you understand. Anybody that's on my level, like anybody with me, like you're fine. But these older, and she's kind of like getting frustrated with herself because she's trying to find like the right words. My friend killed my sire for me to save me from my grandsire. And got me out from my grandsire to make sure I didn't turn into a warmongering monster. And I hate my father because of the monster he has been and has now become. And I make sure that he never comes close to me to cause any more chaos in my life that is already chaotic enough.
At the mention of what I'm presuming is her real life father,
Yes.
Marcus has a very weird expression on his face. Sort of on the one hand, it is like, ooh, sorry to hear it. On the other hand, there is also some anger gently bubbling away there. Or how should I say? First, it's like his expression is, I'm sorry to hear that, and then after that, sort of, there is actually a disgusted expression on his face. That's not what a father should do.
No, because he shot my mother dead because he thought that she was cheating on him. Thus, my little sister came around because, obviously she pointed her hair. I'm a towhead, and my sister came out bright fucking red. And he just forgot that, his father before him was an Irishman and had bright fucking red hair. And so he killed her, and was going to kill my sister. I stopped him until my neighbors came and stopped him, and he was behind bars until he got out on good behavior and disappeared in Louisiana. Thus, I went down to make sure that I could keep an eye on him at all times to make sure he doesn't try to hunt down Pyra. And I find out that he turns out into the monster. And I've been tracking him ever since. Yes. And she kind of stops and is like staring at him. The monster I track is my father. Once a year. Because he came here. He's a werewolf.
Blinks twice. Shakes his head. That's terrible.
I'm confused enough as it is.
I'm really sorry to hear that your family has had to go through that. And that you had to deal with something that you probably would have had all right not having to deal with.
Yeah, but since I was turned into a vampire, and vampires' natural enemies are werewolves, and my father just happens to turn into one, it just kind of sticks. So I'm not necessarily mad at it. I'm just mad that he's caused a lot of these scars. And I haven't been able to do a damn thing. Except keep an eye on him. To make sure he doesn't stay in the cities. And when he gets too close, I drive him back out of the cities. And then he goes back on to his migration run. Leading his pack around. I used to think that I had some sort of pack mentality when I helped run and protect a harpy group. And look how that turned out. I am the only lasting survivor of my harpy group. It's fantastic. The only thing I've been able to keep alive the longest is my dog.
He moves in and gives her a very, I hate to say it, just after all the thing, a very fatherly hug.
And she laughs. She laughs at the hug, but she takes the hug and she hugs him. And she's not getting upset. Again, she's laughing.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of it's stupid of how this is gone. But it is what it is. And when they separate, she's like, it's okay. I'm used to it. Thus, I take the precautions that I take. And when I do find a buddy, a friend, somebody that I can talk to and that I can trust, I do everything that I can. And I'm just scared that it is going to fail again. That I am going to be stabbed in the back. And I'm not going to know what side to turn to anymore because I've literally tried all sides and just can't win.
It's like walking through a forest of knives. No matter where you turn, you're gonna get at least nicked.
Hell, maybe I'll try the Ordo next. Do you think the Ordo will take me?
He looks her up and down, and you know what? There is less doubt in his look than probably should be.
I mean, I don't want to say that I'm all of a sudden just going to leave the Carthians, and because that's just going to break all sorts of deals. But if push comes to shove, and I get pushed, and it's by verb, of all people, because that is one other person that I trust because of how long I have been associated with her in the Carthians.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what I might do. And I'd rather have somebody know that I might just be hiding in a cave somewhere in these hills like I did in the past. Because my beast got loose. By the way, be wary of that. The beast has gotten loose before. It is fine now. We're buddies. But push comes to shove again. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a mess tonight.
Well, I'll just say you could have definitely chosen worse places and worse people to talk to than me. And by the way, you looked as if you needed a hug.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Honestly, I do. Because it's been a really long night.
Sounds like it. Do you bowl?
Back in the Americas, I used to. Like, probably before my current condition.
I happen to know a bowling alley not too far away from here. If you want, we could go and do a few rounds. I find doing stuff that I used to enjoy back when I was breathing in a very funny way. By going through the motions, I just find that I anchor myself a little bit more.
Sure. She's looking at him quizzically. She's like, too bad there's not an axe throwing place like there is in the Americas. That'd be fun too. But we'll do bowling tonight. But we'll have to hunt down like one of those like trasher room or axe throwing places. Because that always does good too.
Axe store?
Axe throwing.
He just smiles as an idea crosses his head.
Oh God. What?
How about we go back to my forge? It's a discontinued metalworking station. Well, I have sort of revived it. It has a long, nice central hall. I've got some targets. I've got some axes. Let's throw some axes.
And she actually gets that glow again, and she's like, "Oh my God, yes, please, let's go. Yeah, please."
I used to love what you guys call Ren fairs, so that's something I always enjoyed there.
Yeah, axe throwing, and not the. It's the red eye. The red eye, that hazily red eye is just like, oh yes, and it's kind of like glowing, and she's just like, take a breath. It's okay. It's okay. We're okay. Yeah. Axe throwing. That sounds great.
Sounds as if you've got some excess energy that needs letting out, some steam that needs letting off. That just might be the right thing.
Yes. We just have to make sure that roadkill doesn't try chasing the axe. Looking down at her dog.
Not that I would be so gauche, but I think in a pinch I could command him to stay put.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I can too. I was just thinking all of a sudden he gets the zoomies because Mama has the zoomies.
I see.
That's my so-called belief, what anybody else would say. You know what I mean? Well, what are you?
But yeah. So, well, you said it yourself. You seem to have a bit of a problem of keeping your mouth shut. But then again, and he gives her a long, hard look, definitely deciding if he wants to tell us something or not.
And she leans forward. She's like, "What did I just tell you?"
Yeah, good point. I feel a bit filthy not saying it, but then again, I wouldn't have survived this long if I wasn't careful. Most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, and then he rolls up his sleeve. I didn't get that shit tattooed just for the kicks of it. And it's the one with the motto, "Who dares wins." But yeah, so far the vampiric civil war has turned out to be, how should I say, more interesting, but also more letting down than I expected. Then again, I'm still not sure what I expected, and I guess at the end of the day, the less kindred bite the dust, the better, I guess.
No, that's totally understandable.
Yeah. But you said like roughly every 20 years this shit starts to break out?
The pattern hasn't failed yet.
Right, I'll keep that in mind for 2030.
I plan on living that long.
He does the numbers. Okay, so I have at least once this conflict has finally concluded. I've got at least 2 more civil wars to look forward to.
Super fun.
Oh boy, who knows? Maybe by then I'll see that that I'll be enjoying a holiday on the Bahamas or some bollocks. Or you know what exactly? I get myself a yacht, some Ponzi idiot who actually knows how to steer the thing, and I just yeah exactly. When it comes close again, I just go and sail off into international waters and tell you all to go fuck yourselves. Well, okay, maybe apart from you, maybe I'll invite you over.
I was gonna say, or just tug me along in a little tugboat, just enough for me to just like go to bed during the day.
Well, upside for you is I can stay awake during the day if I wish to.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's a freebie. For other things, nah. Never mind. But, and you'll look a little bit more serious, if at some point you really get sick and tired of being afraid of flames or sunlight, and you feel that you're willing to apply yourself to it and come with honest enough intentions, hit me up and I'll see what I can do for you.
Hell yeah. Trust me, I'm probably almost over halfway there.
Although one thing you'll have to keep in mind that on the whole, one of the reasons why the Ordo has managed to survive as long as it has is because we have on occasion sat on the fence.
Yeah. Same here. The fence is not that comfy as much as you decorate it.
That is true. However, there is something very satisfying about overcoming limitations. So much I can say. But, okay, enough with the gay banter. Let's go. I feel like bowling.
Bowling, and then again another night we'll do the axe throwing.
Yeah, or the other way round. Whatever you fancy.
Nah, bowling tonight.
Axe throwing tomorrow.
Axe throwing tomorrow.
Excellent. Excellent. I take it, drinks-wise, you're set. You're not terribly thirsty or feeling more agitated than usual.
No, I'm good. Besides the broken face, I'm good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, if worst comes to the worst, I'll dominate a yuppie for you.
Oh, thanks.
Wait, do people even still use the term yuppie?
Probably from this side of the waters they do.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think you're set.
Yeah. Right. Let's go for it. Although one thing I have to say, of course I had to be embraced in my mid-40s. Typical. always a little bit late for certain things.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah. Well, at least on the upside, I never get asked if I'm old enough to actually be allowed to drink the drinks I do. Right. Starts
do this.
unbolting the doors.
Let's do
Whistles at
this.
Rusty, who is a good boy and neatly puts himself a thing. Goes and he yeah. He will be going around the building to the parking place, and he'll point at a DeLorean.
Oh my God. Are we going to the future or the past?
I haven't got a flux capacitor, my dear, so the present will have to do.
Damn it! Oh.
And
right.
if it gives you any kick, it's not my DeLorean.
Damn it.
I politely asked. Oh, no, not at all. I politely asked the owner if I could borrow it. And they agreed with me that saying yes was the smart choice. I didn't threaten their lives or anything, but I convinced them. And he smiles a very cheeky grin.
You Ventru. Just like blatant look. You Ventru, you.
Oh, you love me for it, don't you?
Oh my God. So long as it gets me a joyride in DeLorean, she just starts walking over to it.
And the gull wing door opens.
Yes!
As he opens his, gets in and just says, you know what? Because you saw some serious shit, let's see some boring shit. And with that, he goes on the pedal. Although the fun fact is, apart from 88 miles per hour is about the top speed that car can do anyway.
Yeah.
So they're doing full speed basically all the way. And he just starts playing the soundtrack from Back to the Future because he's corny that way.
Yes. She's just sitting back like, yes.
And the dog's in the back just having a grand old time. But if you're okay with that, I would say that they arrive at the bowling alley, have a good few rounds, have a good few laughs, and I would even say that he starts quizzing her about, so what are some of your favorite films and stuff?
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Just, yeah, like, hey, what's favorite movies, favorite thing, exchanging info, just being two mates out on the town.
Lord of the Rings.
Good choice. Jackson did a pretty good job on the trilogy, I have to say.
Yes. But you have to watch the extended versions. You cannot just skip on the normals.
I see. Let me guess, the 4-hour version.
Yes, per movie.
There are just not enough hours in the night.
No. But that's what curtains are for.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Fair enough. definitely. But yes, what was the last concert you were at?
Offspring.
Good choice. Good choice.
Started a mosh pit during You're Gonna Go Far, Kid.
Always was a fan of metal.
Yeah.
Totally.
Totally.
And they said it was just going to be a phase. Ha!
No. Never.
Nope. Go on. Recently got the chance to see a Sabaton concert.
Ooh.
That was lit.
Oh God, I would want to see that.
Those crazy Scandinavians. I love them.
So, yeah, no, Sabaton. Okay, you got me beat there. You got me beat yet. Damn it, Marcus. Killing me, Smalls. Beating me.
Oh, wait, did I say Sabaton? I mean Judas Priest. Oh no, how could I get these things mixed up?
Judas Priest is still just as good.
Oh, for fuck's sake, woman, I'm trying to...
It's okay. I'm okay with losing. I am not a sourpuss.
Nah, if anything, you're a sour bobcat.
Sour bobcat, which means Kitty still got claws.
Yeah. Or maybe a wolverine. Difficult to say.
Or a honey badger. I can be a Hufflepuff, but if you piss off a Hufflepuff, Hufflepuffs still have claws.
Yeah, I remember reading that to my never mind. Damn, I miss my family.
One of these days, I'll take you to go visit them. How about that? From afar.
From a close is always a problem because you don't know if anyone is watching them or if there's some other kindred in the area that would be...
That's why I'm there. I hit them with cars. And that caused the perfect distraction so you can go see them. Apparently, I'm very resilient going through a windshield.
Yeah, to be fair, a kindred entering a house or a kindred going flying through a car window. Yeah, I would also go and check out the one who flew through the car window.
So, I got you.
Mind you, I would give you an appropriate boon for that.
Then we're definitely doing that after this war.
I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
After all, there are also some more covert means how you can check up. I should see if social media might not be a way to do it. At least for some preliminary lookings over.
You just got to be careful about the techie vampires.
Well, to be fair, if I get the right type of encryption that constantly shifts my IP address, that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
No.
Then again, I could probably try to hit up some old mates of mine who used to work in encryption. Oh yeah, I put it that way. Yeah, I got to meet a lot of interesting people in Her Majesty's forces.
Really?
Well, yeah, it's as the Americans would say, not all of them are just jarheads. You also need the people who set the infrastructure, the people who gather the information, the people who encrypt and decrypt things. You need the smart heads to plan the strategies. You need others to see that the right equipment. It's at the end of the day, there is a lot of number pushing going on if you think about it, and a lot of report writing. Good Lord, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. Well, the only thing that comes close are more like small little scientific essays, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I do need to reach out to my sister one of these nights.
Best of luck.
I know I can get through to her. It's just anybody listening in.
Making sure that no third parties are doing what they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. No, trust me. In a fight, you'd want my sister. Because me, all I have are my hands and my claws. My sister is the one who was gun-toting and from Montana when she got adopted through the foster system.
I see. If by any chance you can get your hands on some dragon's breath rounds, let me know.
Oh yeah, you were looking at those because you wanted to reverse engineer them so you can create them yourself, right?
Correct.
Right. I'll see what I can do. Oh, God, I have been failing, Marcus. I am so sorry because I was supposed to reach out to my friend about that too. No, I'll just reach out to my sister. See if she can FedEx me some rounds.
Well, you're lucky that I don't have Jedi mind powers.
You do too.
Oh wait, I actually do. Sorry, wrong one. You're lucky that I can't force choke. There you go. If not, I would have to say some ominous lines about you won't fail me again or some bollocks.
Right.
Then again, that's not my style.
No.
And secondly, that would be an excellent way of having you turning me into Ventru Sushi.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
no, it'd be gloves off at that point. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Although just between the two of us, I'm a little shocked. I've offered to Gangrel the opportunity of learning some very basic dominate, and first they tend to sound very enthusiastic about it, and only thing little poor me wishes to learn in exchange is how to take a dirt nap with style.
I'll show you that. That's easy.
In exchange, but so far nobody's jumped on it, so how should I say? I'm almost disappointed a little bit.
I'll give you that for free so long as you make me an axe or something. Where's your sword?
He puts out his hand and goes like, "You've got a bloody deal, Missy."
Fuck yeah, takes it.
And then again, you'll be able to say this was smithed by a vampire, and all the other kindred will just look at you in disbelief. Or well, apart from that one Mechit in the corner that nobody has taken notice of, as he probably aura reads the shit out of you, and then just looks even more confused because it turns out to be true. I might not be a troll, but I dare say I'm halfway decent.
That's okay. We'll make do. Because, I mean, as much as I love my knuckle busters and my claws, there's nothing better than meeting a fucking nightstick with an axe. A hatchet.
Agreed.
Because the hatchet has the curve and I can just go swink. What nightstick?
Good point. And he has an idea and he scratches his beard. You just gave me a little idea.
You're welcome.
I'll still have to let it grow, but thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's that. And as they finish their bowling, Chloe having won. Yep.
It's not my fault
me.
I throw the ball like 3/4 of the way down the lane. Just saying.
Okay, I'll give you a tiny heads up. If you ever see a red-headed biker chick, roughly 10 years younger than myself, she's a friend of mine. Goes by the nickname Red Sonia.
Got it. I was about to tell you the same thing, except you call her Pyra, my little sister. That's terrifying. Now we're both gonna cringe if we hear a motorcycle with a redhead on it.
Well, it's only fair. She's a bit of a squeeze of mine. There you go. I think that should put us on similar footing. Oh well, you know, kiddo, even middle-aged people might still be interested in, having someone to squeeze. Have somebody around. Have some fun. Ride at ridiculous speeds down the motorway.
Hey, that's fun.
Nothing more exhilarating than feeling a woman clutching herself just a little bit tighter at your torso as you give it its all.
Oh my. Sorry.
I was born in the fucking 60s. There is a lot of... It takes a lot to shock me, my dear.
I'm sorry. Oh, God.
I'm sorry if that wasn't a little bit... if that wasn't PC enough for you.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah. I'd say just give me a place you'd like me to drop you off, as Marcus pays the rest to the guys returning the shoes. And I'll see that this DeLorean gets back to its rightful owner. After all, I only asked if I could borrow it.
Look how nice you are. You can drop me off at the park. That way I can throw the ball for this dude.
Yeah, that's fine. And they're in the car and on the way to the park. Is there anything else Chloe would like to ask, say, comment on?
I don't think so. Oh my gosh, sorry. So sorry.
That's fine. So it won't take too long, and he deposits you in the park. Right. You stay safe, and I'll try my best to stay the same.
Yeah, you the same.
And by the way, thanks for double checking that my little patch stays unmolested.
You're welcome. You are welcome. She'll get out of the car. Roadkill will load out. And
Rusty will take shotgun. Balk happily at roadkill. and with that, Marcus will just say, "Time for me to go. Roads? Where I'm going, I don't need roads." As he closes the door before Chloe can respond to that, and tears off.
Oh my god! Just like the roadkill, just like I can't with him, dude. I just can't. And they walk off.
secretly thinking to herself that she just absolutely can, just in the sense of, yeah, nah, it's fine. She can or can't as much as she wants. Marcus is a horrible troll sometimes, I won't lie.
It's okay.
You know, those years on the street. Yeah, weird sense of humor, but nothing vicious, nothing nasty. But yeah, you can see in the distance, he's got to 88 miles per hour. And as the car is turning around the corner, you can see on the back, out of time.
Oh my god! Just walks off.
And with that, we'll close the scene as the camera moves out, as in the distance in a park, just some owl turns its head, looking towards the camera, and it goes black. And with that, thank you players for playing, thank you watchers for watching. This was another session of Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire the Requiem, a Requiem for London. See you next time.
Night-night.